Welcome to WrestleWolf. This is Reconsidering WCW Nitro. I am Dr. Damian Gibson, and joining me, as always, is the man who only deals in Kayfabe. It's Matthew Kayfabe.
How are you going?
I'm really good, man. I'm really good.
I like that there's always like a slight pause when I ask you how you're going, and I think it's because you're like, is he talking to me or the audience?
I don't know what I think. I think it's the tone in the way you say, "How's it going?" It feels like a legitimate question rather than the way everybody else on planet Earth says it was like, "How's it going?" Like, don't answer that. These are just the pleasantries we go through before I can start talking about myself. You don't do that. You actually ask it with what feels like you want to know how I'm going, and I'm going very well.
No, it's one of the many tricks I have in my arsenal of manipulation.
Well, it's not a trick if you tell me about it, Matthew. It's
you'll still keep believing. You'll keep eating from my manipulative palm, my Kevin Sullivan-esque Dungeon of Doom palm.
Yeah, I'm Sting. I just keep getting up and going, yeah, we're friends, right? It doesn't matter. Man, we've got so much to talk about when it comes to Sting over the next couple of episodes.
He is one of the true morons of wrestling.
It's heartbreaking. The Sting story is heartbreaking. It's only going to get worse over the next year and a half, 2 years. But oh man,
what makes it better is knowing that this character, because this character is absolutely the guy who keeps getting screwed over, and eventually like goes and watches The Crow and is like, I'm going to dress up like The Crow and hang out in dark place at work because I'm in dark place like The Crow. Like, it's dressing up as a movie character is actually exceptionally an uncool thing to do. It's like dudes dressed as the Joker now. That's what The Crow is.
What are you trying to talk about? Maybe the most beloved wrestling character of all time, of our generation anyway, and you're already delegitimizing it before Dark Sting gets into office.
Yes, I am. I would just think that Sting's counted the illegal votes. I don't know.
Let's get into it. It's Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Everyone's wearing their disgusting sweaters. That's one of the few things that, I every Christmas, usually on Christmas Day in Australia, and we live at the southern tip of it, so it's usually not that bad, but you're looking at 30 degrees Celsius plus on Christmas Day. Most people are in board shorts. You'll have barbecues or seafood or whatever. I want to wear these jumpers. You know what I mean? You just can't. There's no way. There's no, like, if you're living in Northwest Queensland, you're not wearing a tacky Christmas jumper.
No, that's true. But people do get really into, like, they sort of buy into, like, Christmas in July to wear the tacky jumper, or they get T-shirts with prints with jumpers on them.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I've never gone in for Christmas in July. So fucking what? Seriously? It's always a work thing as well. It's never like... someone just got shot in the background here. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, Pepe is... Well, it's Glen Roy. Pepe is dressed...
Oh, sorry, yeah, get fucked. Hope you're dead.
Pepe's dressed as Father Christmas, which is super cute. The first match we have is Lex Luger versus Scotty Riggs. All I've got down here is that Bobby calls Mongo Mr. Dog Owner, because I think he just completely forgot his name. And the Comboys talk about Luger and Sting throughout this whole match, which is a competitive match. Lex eventually puts Riggs in the rack, and and the crowd are into this, I noticed. Did you have any thoughts about a Lex Luger match?
I agree that the crowd seemed into this. Other than that, no, I had no thoughts. I was just completely bored, obviously. It's a Lex Luger match.
Next, we get Sting interviewed by Mean Gene. Sting has had enough about being asked about Lex, and he calls out New Japan, who will be going up against WCW at Starrcade. He does some good stuff here with Gene, but again, nothing spectacular to talk about here, I don't think.
No. That's going to be a little bit of a running theme for this episode.
There's not a lot of meat on the bone in this episode, but we said we'd do every single episode, so here we are.
And we have we have not lied. We've done it. We're doing it.
God.
You have to deal with that, brother friends.
Hey, brother friends, guess what? Next up, we've got Big Bubba versus Sting, and it's exactly what you think it is. Not much. The crowd love Sting. I know I bring this up every time he's out there, but there is a legitimate pop that doesn't happen for anybody else, including like Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. Sting wins with a surprise roll-up off the top rope, which I think might have been a botched spot that Sting managed to recover.
It either was a botched spot or it was a very poorly done spot.
I'm going to go with botched spot that Sting saved.
I'll go with the other one just for, competitive tension.
We cut back to Mean Gene, who's wearing a Santa hat now. Someone must have told him it's Christmas Day. And he interviews Jimmy Hart and Lex Luger. Gene asks Lex about Sting. Lex says that they're friends and he is the uncrowned champion, which is his new thing. And look out, it's Sergeant Craig Pittman. He comes out and asks Jimmy Hart to manage him. Jimmy body shames Pittman. He tells Pittman to take his shirt off and then says, look at Lex Luger, look at you, look at Lex Luger, look at you. No, I'm not going to manage you. Here's 25, here's a quarter. Get out of here and call a manager who cares.
I don't 100% agree with the way that James Hart behaved, but he makes a fair point about the fact that Craig Pittman doesn't look good.
They wouldn't just be doing this every week if they didn't have some big manager for him to be attached to at some point, right?
I mean, God, I hope not, because far out. Imagine how heartbreaking that would be.
Every week he goes into Eric's office and unless he's done something to Eric and this is just...
I mean, given sort of the insane illogical theories of certain people around WCW and the fact that it's Eric paid this person millions of dollars so Hulk Hogan could defeat them because Hulk otherwise was going to be cranky because he wanted to defeat this person from 10 years ago in his past. I mean, it wouldn't be totally off brand, I guess, whether that brand is real or not.
It's bizarre, but I mean, now that it's happened twice, it does have my attention. I'm like, this is bad. I don't know what's happening, but I do kind of want to see what happens next with it. So I suppose it's working.
I guess so. It's not working for me, to be clear. I'm not keen to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty easily roped in, but is probably the lesson there. Next up, we get Dean Malenko versus JL. This match is of a standard that you would expect between these two, which is a very, very good match. It's a very quick match. JL appeared to have actually hurt his arm pretty badly. That's it. That's really all there is to report out of this. It was just one of those sort of 5-minute filler matches that we get a bit on Nitro at the moment.
Yeah, it was really it was the most enjoyable thing on this show, in my opinion. It would have been nice that if it went longer than 4 minutes, but you can't ask for everything.
We're back to Mean Gene. He's lost the Christmas hat this time. He interviews Ric Flair. Jimmy Hart comes out, and there'll be more of this at Starrcade as well. But Jimmy Hart comes out and asks if he can come to the ring with Ric Flair. Rick says yes, and then woos. And that's pretty much this promo.
Mean Gene, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, but he's quite an unpleasantly malevolent force in WCW. He does not seem particularly happy to be there, and he just seems quite unpleasant. He just seems like the kind of person you wouldn't actually really want to spend time around. He's the kind of person that's been in a job for 20 years, seen a lot of stuff, and someone comes in and is like, oh, I really like this. And he's like, yeah, calm down. We'll see. It'll get shit. Don't worry.
I didn't...
I just feel like he's just not pleasant.
I don't know. I don't get that from Gene. He might be going through the motions a little bit. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time by this stage, but I think it's just you're interviewing the same 3 people every week for the last 3 months, and in a storyline that really doesn't make any sense until we get to Starrcade. But by that stage, it's too late. It's been going on for 5 weeks. You know, you're just like, oh, like I literally had moments at Starrcade, which will be our next episode, where I was like, oh, right. But we'll save that for Starrcade. Next up, we've got Ric Flair versus Macho Man. Mongo will not shut the fuck up about Turkey. He's mentioned Turkey about 6 times throughout the episode.
Imagine, like, I just kept thinking as I was watching this that there were people who on Christmas Day of 1995 were like, I need to watch this. And they watched it live.
Yeah.
And, like, there will be a subset of those people, you know, who might not have had anything to do, and, you know, that's quite sad. But there's also a subset of people who definitely did have something to do and were like, hey, there's at least one who was like, hey guys, let's just chill out a bit and
go to WCW. I was thinking the same thing. Like, what a strange thing to do on Christmas Day is to go to, unless the taping, but it's live because it's Nitro, right?
Yeah, it's live. And the WWF does not have a show this week. They take the rare day off.
Well, they wouldn't do that now. That's, surprising. Macho Man spits in Ric's face at the beginning of this match. Like, legitimately.
Well, he's the face. That's, the kind of behaviour that we've come to expect from wrestling fake good guys in 1995.
That's what I've got down. That's the next note. Macho is really wrestling like a heel. Like, he's throwing, throughout this whole match. It's really weird.
It's just, vintage 1995. Like Hulk Hogan, pulls someone's pants down and punches them in the dick, and then is like, "Hey kids, eat your vitamins so you can be cool like me."
Exactly.
Of course, Randy Savage spits in someone's face.
Rick throws Macho out of the ring. Jimmy Hart starts kicking Macho. He chokes Macho with a handkerchief. Mongo says that he wants to see some butt stuff when it comes to Jimmy Hart and his megaphone.
I don't.
No,
just to be clear.
They're Mongo's words, not Matthew's or mine.
We just want to be very, very clear about that. The Wrestle Wolf podcast, as a collective, has no interest in seeing Jimmy Hart sodomized with his microphone.
This was a 20-minute match that I was enjoying. I know it's a go-home show, so they're not going to give us Ric Flair and Macho Man proper. But it's ruined by another run-in. Like, Luger comes in after Macho Man hits Jimmy Hart. Then Sting comes in to save who? ? And that's it. That's the show.
I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, where you've got Sting, you've got Dean Malenko, you've got Mr. JL, you've got Randy Savage, you've got Ric Flair, and someone actually made the decision, like, hey, we need to make sure we get some more Lex Luger in this.
He plays a part in Starrcade, so I suppose they were trying to get some sort of interest in the triangle match. But just the story between Ric Flair and Sting and Luger feels really forced, or has felt really forced over the last month. I was really, if I'm being really honest, this is probably the Nitro I've enjoyed the least out of all the ones that we've done. I found it not a chore, but I was just like, this is the same episode as last week and the week before. And there was just a part of me, and I feel like I would have been the same if I was watching it at the time, where it's like, oh, can we just get to Starrcade so we can move on?
Well, I think the strange thing about this is, this whole episode, like the last few episodes, have really been heavily, heavily, heavily built around this triangle match, and who's going to, subsequently face Macho Man for the title. What they haven't really bothered to spend very much time explaining is that, spoiler for Starrcade, but almost the whole pay-per-view is going to be about a World Cup of Wrestling, and have all these people that you've never seen before competing against some of WCW's top talent for the World Cup of Wrestling. But it's not like they've spent any time on. They haven't spent 5 minutes on Nitro being like, this is really important because of this thing. And it is exceptionally strange that like they've had the 30-second promo with like the really racist Japanese music being like, the land of the rising sun comes to America to face us against blah blah blah. But like they haven't just been like, hey, here's Jushin Thunder Liger and he's going to kick the shit out of you, Chris Benoit, because like this really matters.
They've tried little bits and pieces, like they tried with Bobby the Brain, like almost 2 months ago now, where he was having dinner with Sonny Ono and stuff like that. But then that disappeared.
But they've not connected.
No,
dots
they
of
haven't.
that.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like they started, and there's every now and then Eric will mention the fact that Bobby's like, taking all this payment from New Japan for some reason.
It's so weird.
The storytelling across the board with Nitro at the moment is not great.
Also, what a strange thing for New Japan Pro Wrestling must be fucking idiots, because why would you pay a commentator? It's like that's the worst person to pay.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah, it's
the person. Pay a referee.
Pay Eric Bischoff, the executive producer. You know what I mean? Would have made way more sense for Eric to be having.
Just want to interrupt here and say that I don't obviously think of Eric Bischoff at this point as the executive producer, and I'm relatively offended that you would speak to me in that manner outside of Kayfabe.
But I've mentioned it on our podcast, which is part of Kayfabe, so now it's part of Kayfabe.
This is disgraceful. I feel so upset.
Anyway, that's that episode. So this might be the shortest episode we've ever done, but genuinely, there isn't really anything to talk about. It kind of just sort of everything's just sort of treading water for Starrcade, which is literally 2 days from this Nitro. So, yeah. Is there anything else you've got to add?
I don't feel like we should have to apologise, but a part of me wants to apologise, so I'm sorry.
This is not... we can only really work with the material that we have, guys. We weren't really given much on this at all. I suppose if you're going to watch one thing, you would watch the Dean Malenko JL match to get 4 minutes of good wrestling. I would probably just skip to Starrcade.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, so I say this every episode, but listenership is up again. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to thank you guys for letting other people know about it and showing that you guys are liking what Matt and I are doing. That actually means quite a bit. If you can keep sharing it with friends, that'd be great. Rating and reviewing is probably something that we could do some help with. What? That's not a sentence. If you could rate and review us, that would be great. You can follow us on the socials. We are WrestleWolf on Facebook, WrestleWolfPod on Twitter and Instagram. Our website is WrestleWolf.com. And if you want to send us an email, it is WrestleWolfPodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah, sorry. I just forgot that's what you say back.